salaries.
The academic because we've not finished with the syllabus then. We're just about doing revision.
When I saw what was going on and I was pathetic about the children learning process, so I had to call my teachers and say, what are we going to do? And so we all agreed that, okay, the only way we could do it, one of the teachers who is a computer literate now said, let's use WhatsApp. So my teachers normally come 2 times a week. We took our scheme, uploaded, we taught English, mathematics, and science. We did it class by class. Then that particular teacher is the one that will be uploading it. We will video the teacher teaching.
But when it came, it means we can use that with a WhatsApp platform, whereby on a weekly basis, the teachers also download notes and assessments to the pupils based on their scheme of work.
COVID-19 was a new terrain for everybody, but at the same time, we were not prepared for it. But at the same time, we were not caught unaware. Why? Because we've been working online with the children prior to the setting of the COVID-19. Like our children basically do their computer-based tests, which is online. So they are familiar with, they already acquired their IT skills.
Although some parents said it's okay by then, but some said they couldn't afford money to eat at home, talking of buying data. But those that said it's okay by then, we started with them. Then we even appealed to those that are complaining that there is no money for them to buy data. We said they can still manage. If the children cannot be online every day, they can still make it maybe 2 or 3 times in a week. And there is positive outcome from it. At least about 70 to 80 parents turn up.
Although what really happened is that we are on WhatsApp group already. We put the classes on the WhatsApp group in which we do chats with the parents in case we have any event we want to do. So that make it very easy for us to use that platform as a teaching for those children. We send a message to the parent that we'll be starting lecture from so time to so time. So they have to be available with the children then.
The parents are complaining sometimes. They say that the time is short before you know they are done, because I think we use like 30 minutes for each subject.
For some of them that are not internet oriented, they complain of data.
There were a lot of challenges. They were not readily available, and as much as some of them don't have more than one device for the children to use while they are not around. So sometimes when you send the children work or when you are ready for Zoom classes for the children, what we hear from parents is, I'm not available now. So it was a little bit challenging for us to get parents on ground.
The only challenges we are having is that the data.
But the part of the parents, some of them are complaining that they don't have money for data. Then on the part of the children, something they are not used to before. So it's somehow difficult for them to understand. But finally, the time they now understand what we're trying to do for them.
I have the plans and I'm so worried because I want to do it. Technology have gone far because you can't just remain static.
If you study what is going on in the world as a whole, it's become a global phenomenon. We're in the era of ICT. So any school that really want to meet up with the challenges in this present dispensation have to go on ICT. So it is our plan to continue online.
Practically right now, it's not all our children that are physically back in school. So we are still doing online for those at home.
Yes, we are still doing it because sometimes we do give the children homework online. We don't want them to just forget about online classes. Even the first time holiday, we still give some homework online.
Yes, We have a plan to continue. In fact, we are still continuing with it. Like some classes, if they were not able to finish up with their class through the online, they send message to parents, send questions, answering through that, and we can even mark through the online question, the WhatsApp group question.
Online teaching has really aided or has helped with the teachers to think outside the box, and with the aid of the online teaching, we can easily communicate with our learners without they coming into the classroom.
It makes them to pick more interest because of the technology part of it.
Pupils did not adjust very well during the COVID, the online learning, just because we are not seeing them. I enjoyed the online.
For us as a school, a big thanks to our proprietors who had the vision of online schooling that we call a flipped classroom. So this was our emphasis and target before the pandemic came. So the advent of the pandemic wasn't a shocker as it were to the global world to us.
We teachers, we learn a lot of things, how to use technology to teach. We were able to discover how to teach online, like use of Google Classroom and also the use of Google Form to prepare the children assessments. And we also learn how to prepare videos, our own videos, the content of what we want to teach the children. The use of Canvas application and InShots to produce our own video that the children can be able to learn from instead of downloading from YouTube.
Then we do talk to the parents not to release their phone to their children, even either the father's cell phone or the mother's phone.
It wasn't easy at first, getting the parents to sit with the children for the teaching, even to release their phone. Some will tell you that, oh, I'm going to work.
Hello, yeah. So sorry, I had to stop that because of our time. But the full video, which is about 17 minutes, is still is on our YouTube channel, so you can just go there and check later. I'm sorry, I had to stop that because of our time. So we have 35 people in house, and I know that we had over 200 people that registered, and I'm very sure that more people will join us very shortly. So not to take much of our time, I will just quickly briefly introduce who we are. We some of you may already know, we are Bunmi Adedayo Foundation. We are an NGO that is passionate about improving learning outcomes in primary education in Nigeria. We work with children, we work with leaders, we work with classroom teachers, we work with government and private sector leaders, we work with people that are passionate about contributing their own quota to advancing quality education in Nigeria. So our objectives are simply to provide digital technology, to provide schools with physical and digital infrastructure, to empower that. By that means that we do a bit of school innovation, ICT center, library, and of course learning management systems, laptops, and the rest of that. We do that. We empower school leaders and managers because we believe that they are the second most important factor that can influence outcome of learning in schools. We retrain classroom teachers. Yes, please note the word retrain. We know some of you already have trainings before. You have your BSc, you have your NCE, you have your OND, you have your, in the extreme cases, you have your PhD. But what we do is that we retrain you because trends have changed, times have changed. Just like what we are about to learn today now, we see that technology is highly essential. And so what we do that we retrain you to be time relevant and tech relevant and future relevant so that you can adequately prepare the children also. And what we do also is that we provide scholarship also for children from public primary schools to access quality education in top-notch schools that they barely can afford. We have about 2 children in the school where they pay about 3 million naira per term, and they are not paying a dime, courtesy of BAF and other partner organizations. So a bit, I'm sure some of you that don't know, The foundation was set up in honor of this very handsome young man, Bunmi Adedayo, who passed on in September 2013. Before he died, he was passionate about education, and he went all out to ensure that even though he was from a very wealthy background, he was down to earth, and he made sure that he helped children to achieve their dreams as much as he could. So the foundation was to set up in his honor to continue his dream and to ensure that we bridge the gap between education. So since we set up in 2016, we've trained over 4,500 teachers from over 582 schools. We've empowered 490 school managers. We've organized over 450 workshops. We have had 2 leadership boot camps. We have 4 children on scholarship, and more than 300,000 children have been impacted through our works one way or the other. And we are not doing this all alone. We have people, we have brands that are supporting us, that have or that have supported us in the past and currently, to make sure that these things come to you for no fee. Like, we do these things for free. We have never charged a dime for any of our works. Yes, thank you so much. These are the ones that have made this possible for us. So, not to take much of our time, I want to introduce our speaker. Like you already know, his name is please ignore the mistake earlier. His name is Oluwaseun Kayode. Please, apologies about the mix around Aramide Kayode. His name is Oluwaseun Kayode. He's the CEO and founder of Schoolinka, an organization that's an education team that leverages technology to create an ecosystem of highly skilled and tech-savvy teachers for schools in Africa. Oluwaseun and his team at Schoolinka, they design exciting professional development opportunities for teachers, and they deliver them through a self-paced online learning platform and instruction-led live masterclasses. Oluwaseun has worked on many local and international education projects, including a speaking engagement at the Teach for All Global Conference at Armenia. He's a member of the Peace First Accelerator Program in Austin, Texas. He's a 2020 Orange Corners Fellow, and in 2021 Unleash Global Talent Fellow. Oluwaseun loves education, lives education, speaks education, and is so passionate about teacher development in Nigeria. And this is evident in all that Oluwaseun does in his work. Oluwaseun, we are excited to have you here today to talk to us about the role of education in Nigeria. As you saw from the video we watched just a few minutes ago, how the COVID-19 disrupted learning. Schools were affected, teachers were affected, even the downline, the children were hugely affected. Learning practically stopped. WhatsApp that was used by most of the schools was not enough to help them achieve the kind of outcomes that technology has the power to do. So today we are so expectant, and we believe that for sure you will blow our minds, you will open our eyes to opportunities and possibilities, and step-by-step guide on how we as teachers can prepare for the future. Someone said something that in the future, only tech-relevant teachers will be sought after. That is, if you want to remain in teaching profession and you lack tech skills, that means you run the danger of being out of job in the near future. And then someone also said that as a school also, if you do not run with technology, you stand at the huge risk of running out of business. That means you may not have the opportunity to run your school. If everybody is going tech and you are still doing classroom practice, like, what is the future opportunity for you? So Oluwaseun is going to really help us this morning to expose our minds and expound our minds to the action steps on how we can take technology in the session. So please, if your hands are not too busy, would you please just type in the chat box and let us give Oluwaseun a virtual clap as it takes us through on this very interesting journey. Oluwaseun, please, I've made you a host already. You have the floor.
All right, thank you so much, John. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. I just want to confirm if you can hear me. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? All right, great. Thank you. It's so good to be here. It's such a privilege to be speaking with everyone on the call today and, having this conversation around technology in teaching and learning. It's really an interesting space and a very interesting age to be discussing this topic. And the truth of the matter is this topic has been discussed, for the last 20, 30 years. It has been a topic of conversation, but once this kind of topic comes up, you might never find up to this number of educators attending this kind of sessions. But yeah, even if the pandemic was a tragic moment in history, and even if it was something that took a lot of lives, something I'm not happy about, we can still also thank the pandemic for helping us see the reality very fast and seeing the new normal, because the pandemic brought the sense of urgency to actually, talk about technology in learning and education. Before I go ahead to share my screen, I'm just going to, I know John has done introduction of me, and I'm just going to share a bit more. So my name is Oluwaseun Kayode, and I am the founder of Schoolinka. And what we do basically at Schoolinka is to train teachers, but we use technology to do that work. And the reason why we use technology is because we believe that for you to train teachers at scale, you need to leverage technology. And that's why we use technology to power this work. We started in 2019 with physical learning programs, teachers working at physical learning centers, tens of them. Someone said they can't hear me well, but can you all hear me? Please, can you hear me well? Is my volume okay? Okay, great. Thank you very much. So maybe you might have to increase the volume of your own device, Omolola Obafemi. So yes, all right, good. So we started this work, tens, hundreds of teachers coming into our work. We're making impact, we're doing good. Teachers were taking the skills to the classroom and transforming learning with the skills, but we knew we had to do more. We had to, because it's just a tiny drop in a mighty ocean in training just tens, hundreds of teachers. And that's where we started seeing technology as the biggest game changer. I'm sharing this background because we're talking about technology today, and since technology drives our work. So I just feel like I should share a bit of, the Schoolinka story. And so in late 2019, we started saying, how can we reach many more teachers while cutting costs? Because when we started this work, we asked the critical question, why are teachers not getting trained? And the top answers were, one, training programs are very expensive. So you can imagine a teacher that is earning 25,000 or 15,000 as a monthly salary is being asked to attend a classroom management training for 30,000 naira. It's just like you're telling the teacher to bring 2 months' salary to come and learn, which is crazy, by the way. And so we wanted to remove the barrier of cost. We also want to remove the barrier of location. Most training programs happen in cities. So for example, a training program happening at VI or at Ikeja, and then this teacher is working far away in Badagry, and you're asking this teacher to travel down for this training for just 2 hours. So most of these teachers, educators, school leaders can't attend this kind of training. So there's a barrier of cost, there's a barrier of location, proximity to training location. So what we set out to do was to break down those barriers. The first model we used was a physical training program. We were able to break down costs to a great extent. We design and offer premium training courses and still deliver it at very affordable fee or even free most of the times to teachers, while using personal finance, support from other people to subsidize the fees. But with technology, we're able to do more. When we started thinking of technology, that was when we started thinking of, why don't we train people over Zoom? That was before the pandemic, late 2019. So we started Zoom calls, Zoom sessions, just like this one. And we saw hundreds of teachers coming, learning. And it was really interesting seeing what power of technology can do. And with that, we're able to reduce the cost of learning so much because we didn't have to rent a physical location or pay for meal because we buy food for the teachers that come for training. We didn't have to do all of those things because it's delivered via Zoom. Everybody stays in their house and they learn. They just need to get internet data. But there was still this thing around timing because for example, you are on this call right now. You can only join the call when we are on. So if we are off, you can't join the call. So there was this thing around timing. There are teachers, for example, if you're holding a training session and a teacher needs to attend their sister's wedding party, they would have to choose one. So we said, no, what we want to do really is to put the entire power to access professional development in the hands of educators themselves. We want educators to be able to choose when they want to learn, how they want to learn, where they want to learn. And that's when we started building what we have today, the Schoolinka online learning platform for teachers, school leaders, where they can sign up as users and take online courses, take the skills to their classrooms and learn. And what we've seen is revolutionary, because lots of educators now sign up on our platform and learn when they like. People can pause their learning and continue later. People can be learning with their earpiece in their ears, and then they are frying egg and making breakfast for their family, right? So people can now learn without barriers. And this is not the end. We are still innovating and iterating, but all of this was made possible by technology. So that's the work we do at Schoolinka. And I shared that background because I'm going to be talking about technology in teaching and learning. And I thought that, that story might just let us know what technology has been able to do so far. So I'm going to get right into it. I'll be sharing my screen now, and then we go into it. Just let me know when you can see my screen already. Can you see my screen? Is the raising hand saying you can see my screen, or you want to ask a question? Okay, great. Screen is seen. Great. All right. So let me just get right into it. Okay. Yes. So the topic today is technology in teaching and learning. And basically what we are going to be looking at is how do we integrate technology in teaching and learning? And in doing this, what are the action steps for schools and teachers alike? And so what I'll be sharing today is definitely not new information. This is something you already know, you've heard about before in time past. Please, I don't know, hands are being raised. I'm not sure. Do you want to ask a question, or you're just testing the raising hand feature?
Sorry to come in. I think you should go ahead. Towards the end, we give them to ask their questions. But right, unless you are open to them interrupting you, if that's fine, then they can type in the chat box and you respond to it. But I think the format is better. You flow and then
no worries.
They ask their question.
Right. Yeah, if you think that's better, we can do questions afterwards. I'm just seeing the hands being raised, and I'm like, maybe they have a question. But yeah, we can do questions right after. So as I was saying, right, so all this, this information is not new information. It's not something that you've not heard before. You've heard about it, you've read about it, you've seen it. But what I'm doing today is really to bring it into our consciousness, right? So there's something around you knowing something just back in your head there, but you consciously knowing it, and then you being inspired to take actions. And so that's my job here today, really just to let us see what the role of technology is in teaching and learning. All right, good. So today's agenda, what we're going to be discussing in this presentation really is what's the impact of technology on education? What's the role of interactive technology in education? What's the benefit of interactive technology? What are the teachers' mindsets for integrating tech in learning? And when I say teacher's mindset, I mean, I should maybe use educators' mindset, because I'm sure we have school leaders, school administrators as well on this call. So how do we set up a virtual learning space, just like, key steps for schools? And what are the new trends to watch out for in digital learning? And so these are the things that we are going to, be discussing today. So it's really about tech and learning and teaching, and it's going to be a light discussion. All right, let's go ahead. So I have this Menti activity for everyone. So if you are not joining with your mobile phones, I would like you to take on your mobile phones right now and, bring out your camera and just scan this code here, and it will take you to a website. It's a Menti website where I would like you to answer the question. In one word, describe how you feel when you hear the word technology. Now, for those who are using their mobile phone as well, I'm going to do something now. I will be sharing the link to this in the chat box. So in case if scanning this code is going to be an issue for you, I will put the link in the chat box now so that you can, all right, sorry. Great, so that you can, visit that link. And so we are going to be seeing the result as it comes up. So please check the chat box, the link is there. Everyone should click on that link and then go and answer that question. So the question is, in one word, describe how you feel when you hear the word technology. So please, I would like you all click on that link in the chat box now and then begin to answer the questions. Type in what in one word, describe how you feel. I think there are 3 spaces there, so you can, write 3 words. Great, I can see future popping up on my screen. Can you all see my screen with the response? So one entry is in, I can see future. Who else is typing something? Let's go ahead to type, please. All right, good, great. I can see improvement, superb, fantastic. I can see awesome. I can see creative. I can see terrific. Please, more words. We have how many people on this call? We have 39 people. Great, I can see challenge. I can see fascinated, sorry. Great. I can see 21st century. I can see change. I can see excited. Yes, I am excited about technology. Trust me. I can see amazing. Tech is definitely amazing. I can see I feel great. It's one word, but yeah, that passes. Any other thoughts, please? Let's keep it coming. I can see engaging, interesting, innovation. If someone has typed what you've typed, you can still retype it. So once you retype it, what happens is that the word that has the most popular typing becomes bigger on the screen. So don't mind, even if it's something someone has typed before, still type it. All right, good. I'm still monitoring the screen. So we have just like 2 minutes more to type more. So please get the words in, You can see type the same word you're even seeing on the screen if that's how you feel. Exhilarating, great. I can see creative and challenging, awesome. What else is coming? I can see inspiring. What else? Let's use the Menti. I can see people dropping message in the chat box as well. Amazing, change, great. All right, so these are like great words, and I'm super excited that looks like everybody here has already embraced technology, so we don't have issues. I was expecting to see someone saying tiring or sad or uninspired. I can see also in the chat box, superb. But what I'm seeing here are positive words. Looks like we should just end the session right away, John, right? So because I think all know about technology already, so we are all like high flyers already. Greatness in the chat box. Great, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of these words. Yes, so let's continue our journey. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing those words. So as you can see, right, technology is exciting, definitely. Technology is great. Technology is amazing. Technology is transformative. Technology is exciting, right? So these are words that you see. For example, we just use a tech tool right now to get the sense of what everybody feels. Can you see how interactive the class is by just using this Menti tech tool? That's one of the ways by which you use technology in your classroom as well. And you can use this with your students too, and they can always share what they feel. There are different tools that you can use. You can use Kahoot as well to be able to gather thoughts and feedback, anonymous thoughts from your students or from your learners. Let's move ahead. Thank you so much for sharing those words. So what's the impact of technology on teaching and learning? Technology is a powerful tool. And I want you guys to, put that word or that compound word powerful tool, and let us look at it in depth. We always talk about technology as something that's going to change everything. Like technology is going to revolutionize things. Technology is going to, disrupt a lot of things. But one thing that we usually do not really talk about more is technology as a tool. And when you say something is a tool, it means that that tool cannot take action by itself unless it is being instructed to do so. Now, when we say it's being instructed to do so, it might be maybe instructed to do so by maybe writing codes and placing commands or picking it up and just using it. So when you say something is a tool, someone has to use it or something has to use it. So technology is really a tool. It is just a tool, even if it's a powerful tool. And so what that means is that it is best used if it's in the control of someone or if it's in the control of something. There has to be an influence, on technology for it to work the way it is meant to work. And so that makes us know that even if technology is super powerful, we actually have a power over technology. Even if technology is very exciting and looks like, wow, amazing, we as humans, especially when it comes to teaching and learning, we as educators have the influence over technology. So we can actually define where we want technology to go to. We can actually, redefine its steps. We can actually call it back. We can actually send it forth. So technology is a powerful tool that has changed how teachers teach and how students learn. Even if it is changing how teachers teach and how students learn, it is still in the control of teachers and students themselves. It has provided access, to people, access to education, and access to different ways of communicating and working together. For example, we are in this session together learning on a Zoom call, using Menti, using Canvas slides. And we are having interaction just as if we are in the classroom together, right? And this is made possible by technology. You are all in your different locations. Some people might not even be in Lagos the way I am, but we are communicating and we are learning all together. So what technology has done right now is to bring video conferencing, sound communication, multimedia and visuals, and bring all of this together, plus internet and bandwidth to create a classroom and a learning experience for us all. So technology is bringing us closer to each other. It's giving you access to my content that I have designed. It's giving me access to you so that I can share with you. So it has really basically provided us with access to education and access to different ways of communicating and working together. I'm sure for some of you, most of you have sent WhatsApp messages this morning already. You've sent WhatsApp messages to your loved ones, maybe to the parents of your students, to your teachers in school. You've sent messages this morning. That's what technology has done. 100 years ago, it would be hard for you to communicate that way. But technology has made it more swift and faster for you to be able to communicate and work together with other people, even without seeing them, providing extensive access to people and to content and to learning and to materials. So this is what impact of technology has been on teaching and learning. Now let us examine what's the difference between the traditional teaching and learning and then teaching and learning with technology. Now we know what the traditional teaching and learning is. We have physical learning materials and equipment like papers, pens, and chalkboards. You have your long exercise book that you write your lesson notes. You have your pens, different biro color. You have your red pen, your blue pen, your green pen, whatever color, your black pen. You have your pencil. You have your chalkboard with different colors of chalks. I remember that time when we go to school, when we are coming back home, all our faces will be white, all our hands will be white because we've played with the chalkboard, we've cleaned chalkboards, and then we are filled with dust of chalk. There are papers everywhere. There's always a cabinet filled with files of students, physical learning materials and equipment, chairs, tables. Those are like the traditional teaching and learning environment. There's limited access to education materials and information. You have to, really walk into a library full of thousands of books to learn, to have access to educational materials. And when you get into that library, your problem has just started because you need to start bringing out books one by one and looking for what you need. You need to start going into into like the different shelves, bringing out the books, reading the content, and seeing if what you are looking for is inside it. You might have even read a book up to like 1 hour, 2 hours before you find out that what you're even looking for is not in it. And then you still have thousands of other books. I remember those days in the university. So there was limited access to education materials and information. Sometimes the books you need, you can't even find it in your library. It is somewhere maybe in Abuja. You need journals for research, but you can't find it anywhere. You need to go and start asking questions and looking for people here and there to get it. That was how the traditional teaching and learning was. Teaching and learning typically occurs in an in-person classroom setting. We all have to sit down in the classroom with one person standing in our front, discussing with us and sharing with us, and we simply just looking at the person. There has to be a classroom for learning to happen. That was how traditional teaching and learning took place. Now, teaching and learning with technology, what did it bring? Look at it. Wider access to education materials and information. I can simply go to Google and in seconds, I will get the kind of content that it would take someone 5 hours to get from a library many years ago. But just with a Google search, I get that information in seconds, sometimes in milliseconds. More available channels and tools for communication as well as collaboration. I don't need to go and see my lecturer in the office or my teacher in the office. I don't need to go and see my school leader in the office. I can simply pick up my phone and place a call. I can send a WhatsApp message. I don't need to sit down in a classroom to take tests and write examinations. Someone can send me a Google Classroom link or a Google Form link to take a quiz. So there is more channels and tools for communication, more channels and tools for collaboration. Teaching and learning with technology enables a more personalized kind of learning for students. So there's more personalization as far as learning is concerned. So students who are visual learners or auditory learners or kinesthetic learners, there is a tech tool for everyone to use. There's a tech tool for everyone to make use of. So there's a more personalized kind of learning for students. So no child is really left out as far as technology is concerned, because there's something that appeals to everyone. In the past, students are not able to learn by videos or learn by music. But right now, when you go to YouTube, you can see different learning content for free, videos for kids where they can learn basic concepts. And this is what teaching and learning with technology has done. That's the transformation that technology has brought into teaching and learning. Now, what's the role of interactive technology in learning? Right, so we've been talking about technology and technology and technology and technology. But the kind of technology that is really used in learning is called interactive technology. Because as far as learning is concerned, interaction is prioritized. Learning is never a one-way thing. Learning is a two-way thing. So there has to be interaction between the facilitator of learning and then the learners themselves. And so for us to be able to facilitate that interaction, we need interactive technologies. So interactive technology opens up the way we teach and learn. Interactive technology helps create opportunities for communication. It can encourage teachers and students to communicate more, share and discuss ideas and collaborate with each other. That's what interactive technology has done. And that's what it will continue to do. So there's increasing opportunities for communication. There are different models of communication, different tools that can be used to facilitate communication, when you have interactive technologies. And what are interactive technologies? For example, Zoom is an interactive technology. Microsoft Teams is an interactive technology. Google Classroom is an interactive technology. Edmodo is an interactive technology. Kahoot is an interactive technology. Menti is one. Edpuzzle is one. Nearpod is one. Flipgrid is one. All these tools are interactive technologies. And they help to foster communication. I'm sure you will all agree with me that as far as learning is concerned, communication is key and is a huge priority. We need to ensure that there are lines of communication at each point in time. Learning can never happen without communication. And that's why interactive technology plays a critical role in learning, because it helps to create opportunities for communication. It helps to encourage teachers, and students to communicate more, just like I've read before. And you're able to share and discuss ideas the more with interactive technology. I've been in a classroom where people were just like collaborating using the Zoom whiteboard space, drawing things on the screen, and everybody is saying it. Very, very interesting and engaging, right? So there are benefits of interactive technology to learning, to teaching. And I'm going to read some of those benefits out, and then we are just going to discuss them. We have benefits to teachers, right? So how technology helps teachers do their jobs. Number one, it allows teachers to be more flexible. So teachers can use different teaching methods and tools to suit their lessons or students. There are times when, I remember when we were in school, then in secondary school, we had this teacher that we really did not like, because this teacher is one way. The person talks the same way every day, does the same thing every day. And so the classes are usually boring. So this teacher might have gone through their entire curriculum, the entire schedule of topics that they want to teach us, but yet we will not know the difference because everything is just the same thing. But what technology has done right now is to help teachers become more flexible. So as an educator, if you want to be more flexible in your classroom, remember teaching to the edges. Teaching to the edges simply means everybody in your class is carried along. And you know that your students do not necessarily learn the same way. In your class, you have students who learn by music, by sounds. You have students who learn by seeing things. You have students who learn by being involved. You know all of these things, these learning styles. So technology really helps you to reach all of these students, become more flexible, and reach them the more. So as a teacher, because of the wide array of technology tools that you have at your beck and call, you can use different teaching methods and tools to suit your lessons or students. So for example, if you are teaching basic science and you're teaching weather in basic science, if you're teaching weather, you don't have to bring, I remember those days when they teach us weather and all of these things. They teach us we will draw the rain on paper. And you'll be like, why can't we even see rain itself and learn with rain? So this kind of things, for example, with technology, you can basically just play a video of how, the cycle in weather happens, how rain is formed, and how the water is recycled, how evaporation happens. People can see the videos of these things, even animated videos of these things, and it becomes more real to your students. So you use different teaching methods to teach, to suit your lessons to your students. That's one of the ways technology, help teachers to do their work. Another is helping teachers connect more with students. Now, teachers are able to better communicate with their students and support them in learning. There's something that technology does, and one thing that we've done as research over time is that students are more free to communicate with their teachers when they use technology than when they see their teachers in person. Now, this is not me saying teachers are scary, right? Of course, there are some teachers that are really scary, right? But this is not me saying teachers are scary. But if you teach online right now, I'm sure you will agree to that more students, they are much more free to communicate with you, maybe through Google Classroom or through Zoom chat box or WhatsApp, than they are when they see you physically. So technology really helps you to connect more with your students. You're able to communicate with your students and support them in learning the more. You can simply send a voice note that makes your student understand what you're teaching them the more. So it gives you more opportunities to connect more with your students if you use technology well. Now, technology allows access to more resources. I've already shared about this before. Teachers are able to find additional and updated learning resources that can help them in their work, with technology. So technology is really, really powerful. So these are some of the benefits. There are loads of other benefits to teachers when you use technology in the classroom, when you use technology to power learning in your classroom. So, but let's move ahead. How does technology benefit students? I know you'll be thinking about your students as well. How technology helps your students learn. First is that it allows for a more personalized learning experience. And what does that mean? Students have more freedom to choose the methods and tools that help them learn best. Now, for example, if you're teaching, let's say secondary school students, they have option of choosing like, oh, how do I want to learn? How do I want to interact with this? with this learning experience. For example, if let's say you're teaching your student and you provide a text transcript of what you're teaching, and you provide a video version, you provide an animated version as well. You include resources that they can access on the internet, and you give them all of these resources. Your students can now sit down and say, this is what will work for me better, right? This is what will work for me better. This is what I want to choose. This is the route I want to choose. So technology gives opportunities for students to be able to choose their best method for learning, and also choose the tools that help them learn best. Many of these edtech tools are coming up and they are being used here and there. But we've had children also mention that, they like Zoom than Google Meet, or they like Google Meet than using Zoom. Now that's students having opportunities. Now imagine if they're in a physical classroom. They can't choose to change their classroom anyhow. There's a new app now called Hopin. With Hopin, you can choose where you want to sit online in a Zoom call or in a call like this. You can move yourself around. You can move yourself in different rooms on the same call. And schools are using it. So students can basically move with their mouse and move around and go to, let's say, primary 1A, primary 1B. They can choose what class they want to join by just moving their mouse around, and they begin to listen to what is discussed in that particular room. And all the rooms are accessible to them, just like you have in your school. So technology allows for a more personalized learning experience. Number two is that it helps students prepare for the future. I know many people have been hearing the future of work this, the future of work that. This is what's going to happen in the future of work. Well, it is no more the future of work. It is the now of work, because it is what is currently happening in our faces here. My brother-in-law just traveled out of the country yesterday. He got a software development job. He didn't study software development in school. People are now learning to build apps, build tools, build tech tools, because the world is going tech-driven. So how do we want to prepare these kids that we have in our classroom right now for the now of work and the future of work that is driven solely by technology, if they are not interacting with those tools now? So for you not to even choose to use technology in your classroom, it's a disservice to the future of the kids that you work with. So choosing to use technology in the classroom is not even only about you as an educator or as a school leader, or because you want to make your school more fancy and you want parents to bring students to your school more. No, it is really about the future of these kids and preparing them for the technological future, even from now. There's a lot of adaptation going on. People trying to use different tools now. People having struggles. If there had been interactions with these tools before now, we wouldn't have the problem. Google Classroom was created in 2014. When did it become popular? Especially in Nigeria. It became popular during the pandemic. People say, oh, Google Classroom, as if it's a new tool. It has been existing, around 7-8 years ago. But yeah, we are just learning about it now, and we are trying to adapt. Let's assume that we've already known how to use Google Classroom. When the pandemic happened, we wouldn't have issues. So technology is not really about even us as educators, it's even helping the students as well to actually be able to interact with these tools. And as they grow, even if they want to build a future or a career in technology, it is easy for them because they already interact with the basic tech tools. They know how these things work. So technology helps to prepare your students for the future. Number three is it improves students' communication skills, right? Students' communication skills are like really improved with technology. Students have access to different, channels. They have access, okay, can you hear me? So students have access to different channels where they can communicate and collaborate with teachers and fellow students. So this is what technology does, really. Technology improves the communication skills of students. It helps them know how to interact, the best way to interact. There's a lot of, social-emotional learning tools that are driven by technology that you can integrate into learning in your classroom that help them learn how to collaborate with their colleagues in the classroom and even how to connect with other students, their peers in different schools across the world. There are tools like that, and it is available for free. Talk about Skype in the classroom. These are tools that can be used to power learning and increase socio-emotional, skills of the students, helping them become more curious, helping them become much more empathetic, and helping them become much more kind. These are tech tools that are improving this kind of skills and building the students for the future. Now let's go ahead. Let's move ahead. Sorry, I don't know what's happening to my screen, but can you see my screen? Okay, yeah, great, awesome. All right, so technology is really an effective tool that can make education more meaningful and engaging for students and teachers alike. And I hope I've been able to share that more and, make you know that. Of course, you know it already, because with the poll that we did last, it shows that all of you are really excited about technology. But like I said, it's to really bring into more consciousness technology has the power to do and the impact it can create on learning for us. Now, remote learning as the new normal. Everybody have been beautiful video. I love how people are sharing their thoughts around, e-learning, around remote learning, and how the students were talking about data and all of these things. There's this question around, yes, it's important right now, but is it the future? Right? I mean, when the pandemic is over, won't we go back to our normal, or our old normal? Now, remote learning, yes, new normal, right? But pandemic is going, we are all going to go back to how it used to be before in the classroom. So remote learning as a new normal, it's important right now, but is it the future? Now listen, remote learning technology has been crucial to education right now, and it will likely be, in fact, most likely be as critical in the future as schools determine the best way they can move forward. Schools can adopt or offer a combination of remote and in-person learning. I love what someone shared in that video and said some of their students have not even resumed fully. And so they still have to do remote learning, online learning for them. Now, when it comes to remote learning, when it comes to learning in the first place, education itself is a marketplace. It's a thing of demand and supply. The truth is, many parents are still not confident of sending their children to school 5 days in a week. So many parents will still choose the option of having their kids coming to school just 3 days in a week or just 2 days in a week, and then doing the rest online. And that's the truth. And so if that demand is still there, schools will have to supply those kind of learning experience. Remote learning will most likely continue because there are a lot of benefits with remote learning. With remote learning, you can manage your time better. With remote learning, you can reduce the cost of learning to a great extent. Of course, some people say, there's great cost in setting up remote learning. You have to buy computers and all of this. But as far as technology is concerned, I can categorically tell you that what costs most is the initial outlay. So for example, if you get your computers and you get everything, what it will cost you to run that school as a remote school will be lesser than what it will cost you to run it as, a physical learning environment. And that's the truth. So remote learning is more cheaper because now you need to send books virtually. You don't need to print books. You don't need to print textbooks and all of these things. You can imagine if there's a platform where all your students can access all their textbooks and they just need to pay a subscription fee. They don't need to buy textbooks one by one anymore. That's reducing cost of learning. Parents will love it. There are endless possibilities in remote learning, and it's going to keep unfolding, and people are going to keep embracing it because it's the new normal. Technology is a wave, and it's a powerful wave, and it will continue to move because it's the fourth industrial revolution happening. We've already had, series of revolution happening. Right now, we are having Web 3.0, and Web 3.0 is simply powered by immersive technologies. And you know what? Education will be the best place to leverage on immersive technologies. Talk about virtual reality, talk about augmented reality. All of these things are best used in education. So if you're saying remote learning is important now, the truth is it will also be in the future because emerging technologies are coming up. Technology will always continue to advance and we will catch up with it, right? So remote learning is the new normal and will continue to be the normal going forward. Okay, so as you can see, there are two images on the screen, right? around 3 years ago, 4 years ago, the image on the left, is the, wow. But now looking at the right, this is the new normal of teaching and learning. And I'm just showing these images just to show you how much we have evolved, But I want to quickly ask, how many of you have evolved to the right side of the screen? Or are you still on the left side of the screen? If you have evolved, just type yes in the chat box, like, oh, yes, you've evolved to this right side. Even if you do it, hybrid, just let me know in the chat box that you've evolved. I'm checking the chat box. Oh, I can see yes. I can see yes from Moruf Sanusi, yes from Sunday Tony Moses, from Tennyson Lovett, Biodun Adeyeye. Great. Okay, I can see no from Mohammed, yes from Ismail, yes from Olabisi Olater, Eluye Rangozi. I can see yes, a lot of yes. Mohammed, I would like you to switch. You need to move. Kafayat Amo, it might not be with your current students, it might be somewhere else, but you need to move. It might be with students elsewhere, but you need to start thinking of how to integrate technology into learning. Yes, to some extent, yes, great. Yes, I mean, I'm not asking, of course, because of limited access to resources, you might not be able to entirely move and shift. But to an extent, you should, to an extent. For example, you can use different tools in the classroom. You can play videos in the classroom. You don't necessarily have to do a Zoom call. As simple as playing video in the classroom is also the use of technology, right? As simple as showing images is also the use of technology. As simple as doing virtual tours and connecting your classroom with another classroom, using connecting classrooms, it's a form of using technology. You don't have to jump on a Zoom call to use technology. As simple as that, that's using technology. As simple as a WhatsApp group, right? A WhatsApp group is fast any management system because people use WhatsApp group to train other people. They use it. As simple as WhatsApp group is, you can use it to send assignments to your students, right? So if you're using WhatsApp group, you should be typing yes as well and not no. Okay. All right, good. So this is what will happen in the next coming years. This lady here will become this, even in remote communities, even in low-income communities. The infrastructural gaps will be filled. It will be bridged, right? It will be bridged because technologies are coming to bridge it well. And once it gets bridged, right, you will see all these transitions happening. The way people use technology in 2019 is not the way they use it right now. It has increased tremendously. And that's how it will keep skyrocketing. You can imagine right now, even my gate man at home is on Facebook, is on Twitter. Before it wasn't that way because you feel like technology is only for educated people. But now Facebook even has Yoruba. They translate on Yoruba on Facebook. So you can't say because you don't know how to read English and English language, you won't be on Facebook. So technology is increasing. You see the normal laborers in factories buying smartphones, purchasing smartphones. That's what technology will do. So it's going to revolutionize everything and people are going to transit. So you need to begin transiting now for everyone saying no. Okay, so let's quickly do this activity. What tools are these and how do you use them? I know you've already seen Zoom, so we already know what Zoom is. If you don't know Zoom, then maybe we'll just tell Mr. John to ask you to leave the call. That was on a lighter note, but who can, talk about, apart from Zoom, because we know they've already written Zoom, but who can tell me which tool is this, which tool is this, which tool is this, and then share what they use it for. If you can, please raise your hand. I'll be looking at the participant and I'll call on you. All right, I have Mohammed Mutil. All right, good. So you can unmute and tell us just one of the tool and how do you use them or how is it used?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think I'm so familiar with the team.
Great. So this one here, right?
Because I've been using team. Yes, I've been using team.
Great. Okay, so. Great. Okay, so how do you use it?
Thank you. I use it for some online learning.
Okay.
So
all right.
On it, I receive in class, I receive assignments, submit my assignment and other things.
Great.
So,
Great.
We use it for normal class.
Okay. All right.
And also
good.
we can send assignment and other things. So we have different classrooms on it.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed. Ismail, please, can you go ahead to share?
All right, so good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so I want to talk about the Google Classroom.
Okay, which is the Google Classroom? Which logo is it?
The one that is at the right hand corner.
Okay, this place, this one, right?
That one, exactly, sir.
All right, okay.
So that Google Classroom is used to facilitate learning in the classroom. So in the Google Classroom, we have different categories of classes there that you can create for students. So depending on the category of student that you want to teach, then you can give them your lectures, so they can go through your lectures, as well as can also give them assignments. They also give you the feedback. Then from the assignment, you will mark and record whatever you want to do. You also give them the feedback. So the solutions to the assignment can also be uploaded. So there are many things you can do as far as Google Classroom is concerned.
Great. Makes sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Kamaruddin, are you there? Hello, yeah, we can hear you. So we have two tools. Which of the tools do you want to talk about? We can hear you, Mr. Kamaruddin. Can you hear us?
Okay, yeah, I can hear
me.
Yes, I want to talk about the yes, I want to talk about the one you have mouse on. That's a flip. Yes, this one.
Yes. Great. Thank you. Oh yeah, talk to us about Flipgrid.
Okay, now the Flipgrid is basically, we have the flipped methodology and we have the Flipgrid. So basically, the Flipgrid, we can use it for a learner that is, maybe the learner is shy in the class. So we can give our lessons. The teacher will create the lessons, and the learner will try to read about the lesson, and try to record this ourselves and give feedback to the lesson being created by the teacher.
Great. Thank you so much. So it's used to flip classrooms and get responses. Yes, great. Thank you so much. All right, so we have one more tool. Bunmi Adedayo, do you want to speak about the last tool?
Okay, so good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so Kahoot is the last one.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. So for Kahoot, it also operates like the quizzes. Used for certain quizzes, games among the kids, making the classroom competitive and all of that. And it's so interesting when you use it for your plenaries. When it comes to the plenary, when the kids have their devices, for those who are finished, you just get everybody your devices and then you share the code with them, and it's usually so interesting. And you can also create your own. You can create your own games, you can create your own quizzes on Kahoot, and it's just like quizzes also. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone. All the tools I mentioned already, but thank you so much, Ms. Biodo. Great. I'm happy that I'm in a community of people who already know about these tools and how to use them. And for people who were typing no in the chat box and probably you didn't know about these tools, I hope you've been able to learn, some things about those tools. So we have the Zoom tool, which we're using currently. We have Microsoft Teams. We have Flipgrid. We have Kahoot, and then we have Google Classroom. So these are some of the tools that you can use to power, they are interactive technologies that you can use to power learning, teaching and learning in your classroom. Let's move ahead very quickly because my time is fast spent, right? So for us to be able to use technology or integrate technology in the classroom, there are some mindsets that we need to build, right? So mindsets we need to have as educators, that if we do not have this mindset, it might be hard for you to actually, implement technology in the classroom. And, sometimes I used to call these things, the factors around teaching resiliency. Teaching resiliency is a concept that became very popular in 2020 during the pandemic, right? Where, we now saw that for you to be a teacher, one of the character traits that you need to have is that you need to be resilient. If you're not resilient, you'll fall off, right? If you're not resilient, you will fall off. You will not do well as a teacher, because teaching now became, something that was really skill-based. And not just an easy skill, but something that has to do with adaptation. And if there's anything that is really hard to do, it is to adapt. Because human beings normally, once they get comfortable in a particular situation or condition, it is always very hard for them to adapt to another situation. And that's why when you go to look for jobs, they ask you, are you able to adapt? Because it's very important for you to be able to adapt. And so adaptation takes a lot of resiliency, because adaptation has to do with you, exploring new areas, new fields, new terrains, learning new things, doing new things, which sometimes can be frustrating because you don't know how to do these things before, but you are learning them. Sometimes you fail, sometimes you rise up, sometimes you do it well, sometimes you do it just so bad. And so if you are not a resilient educator, it might be hard for you to pull through in this kind of situation. And so that's where, teaching resiliency comes into play, and the mindset around teaching comes into play as well. So these mindsets are very key. Before I share some of this mindset, I'll talk about visioning, because as an educator, I think that's the number one mindset you should have. There's this old adage that says, if you don't know where you're going, you will end up somewhere else. So one of the biggest mistakes, right? One of the biggest mistakes I see in educational technology platforms is a lack of vision for technology use, especially on the part of the teachers and the part of the school owners. So as a school owner or school administrator or school manager or as a teacher, you need to craft a vision for your technology use in your school. What do you want to achieve? What is it that you want to build by using technology? So a well-defined and clearly articulated vision developed by, all stakeholders in your school, including teachers, students, parents, will also always give you coherence so that you know what technology programs to even choose to use. When it is a co-created strategy, you people know, with that co-creation, because when you bring parents into that conversation, you even know the kind of technology that they can afford and they are willing to provide for their kids to be able to engage in learning. So co-creating that vision for tech use is very, very key. Now, the other mindset is you must know how to unlearn as an educator, because technology tools have to do with you unlearning old beliefs and practices and habits. And then you move to learning and relearning the skills, the beliefs and values that will help teachers and your school leaders, use technology to make meaningful educational improvement. You can't use technology if you do not unlearn what you already know about teaching and learning. That's the truth. Because when it comes to use technology to teach, there's a lot of things that you need to unlearn. For example, when you're using technology, you can't stretch your cane to any student. I can imagine the struggles that some of our educators at Schoolinka faced when they started using technology in 2020 and they were teaching KG2 and nursery students using technology. It was terrible. So they'll be on a Zoom call and the child will just crawl off the Zoom screen and then go somewhere else. And because you're not in the same location with the child, you're not able to draw the child closer and tell the child to come in. There are cases where students will just sleep off on the Zoom call and the teacher is teaching and you're like, Toby, where are you? And then he has slept off. So you need to unlearn the way you teach before and know that you need to use new teaching methodology that will keep your students engaged. The only thing that is harder than learning something new, really, is unlearning something old. And that's the truth. That's a popular quote anyways by Okoff in 1974 that he made that quote. He said the only thing that is harder than learning something new is unlearning something old. That's the only thing that is harder than learning something new. So, for a teacher in this process and for school managers as well, to help teachers in this process, you must help them identify what they don't know. There has to be a learning gap, what they need to learn. Change their mental models to embrace new models, right? And provide lots of support to them to make this happen. The other mindset is giving up control. It is very important. There's this thing I used to share. You need to move from, as an educator, when you're using technology, from being the sage on the stage. I'll repeat that again. You need to move from being the sage on the stage to actually being the guide on the side. Let me repeat it again. When you're using technology, you need to move from being the sage, that's a wise man, on the stage, to actually becoming the guide on the side. With technology, what you're doing is facilitating learning. It's bringing people into interactions. And that's why I'm breaking at each point, just to bring everybody in and let everybody interact as well and share their knowledge. So you have to move from that point where you are the sage on the stage to actually being the guide on the side. In traditional classrooms, the teacher is the locus of all control. The students are focusing on you. Everything is on you. The teacher enacts the curriculum, designs the lessons. You can see that word, enact the curriculum. It's military soldiers that used to enact decrees, right? Design lessons, sets the pace of learning, manages instruction, controls what students do and act as the gatekeeper of knowledge. But technology shifts that paradigm, right? That paradigm will definitely be shifted by technology, and we need to pay attention to that. That we have to give up a lot of control for, in order to be able to help our students learn with technology. The last mindset I'm going to talk about here is learn from failure. You will fail using technology. There are different things you try to do that you not do well. There are different graphics you like to design on Canva that you not design well. For example, the slides I have on my screen here now using Canva, there are a lot of trials and error. So you need to learn from failure. Somewhere, somehow, some part of your technology program will inevitably fail. Your Zoom poll will not show up. You want to conduct poll and the poll will not come up. Different things will happen. Your camera will suddenly stop working. But failure is not always bad. It can be beneficial and healthy, but only if you don't hide it, right? And you not hiding it means you acknowledge it. And you, your organization, which is your school, and the people in your education system, that's your stakeholders, your students, your parents, can learn from it and try to correct it. So if there's something that happens, your students, using the technology tool, they can't use it well, they have issues with probably using, maybe using Google Classroom at their homes. You can provide guidance in form of video and share with them and say, oh, this is how you use it, right? So you need to be able to learn from failure all the time. And learning from failure definitely means you don't give up when things don't work. Rather, you go ahead to learn how it can work. So these are some of the mindset that you need to have as a teacher, as a school owner, when you're integrating technology in classroom. Let's move quickly. Now, I'm going to just run you through this very quickly, how to set up a virtual classroom for schools, especially. And so this is like, just a general overview. We've mentioned some of these tools. So for schools that are thinking of integrating virtual learning in their school, or maybe classroom that is looking to, leverage virtual learning, for the first step, definitely speaking a learning management system. There are different learning management systems. You can use Edmodo, you can use Google Classroom, you can use Teachable, you can use Instructure, you can use Canvas LMS. These are different tools that you can use as learning management system. And you need to study the system so you can maximize its use. So learning management system definitely helps you categorize your lessons into classes, put your content online, have quiz set up in it, have your students interact with your learning content, right? The second step is you need to review all online learning materials. So all the online learning materials you're using, you need to review all of them. You need to stay prepared and know how to use the material. So materials as well include the tools as well that you're using to deliver this learning. You need to stay prepared and know how to use them. The materials, the videos, when should they come in and all of these things, you need to be able to schedule all of these things into your learning management system. Then you need to invest in a calendar and communications app. Calendar, and so for many schools, they use Google Suites or they use Microsoft Office programs, to set up calendar. You can use Google Calendar to create your timetable of classes. I'm teaching SS1 biology this morning. I'm teaching SS2 chemistry by 9 a.m. You have it on your Google Calendar or your, Outlook calendar and all of these things. You use your Google Gmail to send communications to students. You can even use something simple as WhatsApp to send communication, right? It doesn't have to be, using Google Suite. You need to select a secure live streaming platform. For example, Zoom here is a secure live streaming platform. We have Google Meet, we have Microsoft Teams, just like as it was shared before. There are different tools that you can use for live streaming. You can even use YouTube for live streaming as well and block it and make it private. You can use different tools for live streaming. You can use Vimeo. You can use StreamYard. There are different tools that can be used for live streaming. So choose a robust platform that can help with your objectives. What are the things you want to achieve on this live streaming? and use that tool to live stream, if that tool can offer you that. And the last step is to choose apps that foster collaboration. So in choosing whatever tool for your virtual classroom, always pay attention to collaboration. Your student must be able to collaborate with themselves, collaborate with you, and even collaborate with the outside community in your own virtual classroom. So create a learning environment that encourages teamwork. Now, what's next in digital learning? We are getting close to the end. I've been sharing before, and I'll just run through this. Online classrooms mean digital learning for everyone, right? I wrote something on LinkedIn, I think a month ago or 2 months ago, and I was like, you know what digital learning will bring? Anybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry will be able to start a school. So anybody can start a school from anywhere and teach and have students in that school. That's what online learning, that's what digital learning is going to happen. So now Lagos State is saying we have so thousands of schools in Lagos State that are registered, and we know that number is 5 times for schools that are not even registered at all. So what it means is that there will be much more, times 100 of those schools that will be started because of digital learning. For example, look at ULesson. Look at Afriland. ULesson provides educational content for students. Students, register, sign up, pay subscription fee, and they get access to learning content by the Nigerian curriculum, and then they learn online. The truth is, someone who signs up on ULesson can actually prepare themselves for WAEC without going to a classroom, because there's a teacher teaching them online there. There is Afriland. ULesson is a bit expensive. It's for middle-class earners to, high-income learners. But now there's Afriland that does the same thing as ULesson, and then they are making it available for free. It was 999 naira before per month, but now it is free for students to learn. That's Afriland creating a school without accreditation, without somebody coming to their school from quality assurance to say. So online classrooms mean digital learning for everyone. But one thing as well that will come up at some point as these things get popular is that there will now be quality assurance system for even these online learning schools. And they have to be accredited before they can run. That system is going to be created naturally when the market begins to develop. Now, there will be a global market for practical courses and credentials. So what it means is that, programs, training programs, and all of these things, credentials, there'll be a global market. So for example, if you take a course, let's say you take a course at Bunmi Adedayo Foundation, and that course is accredited by, let's say the National Association for Teaching and Learning in the US. What it means is that anywhere you go to in the US, that course stands. So there'll be transfer of credentials all across. There'll be a global market because a particular course can get accreditation from like 5 countries. So that's what will happen in global markets. Now, improvement in the quality of blended learning. We've been having blended learning in the past, but there'll be much more improvement in the quality of how blended learning happens. Rising demand for skill-based programs that will equip students with skills. Those are the things. That's why you see people now talking about putting their children in coding classes, online coding classes, because skill-based economy will grow. Now, greater investment in interactive technology in solving the digital divide. Now, I know most of you will ask, what about schools that they don't have access to technology, or schools in low-income community? The digital divide will be closed to a great extent in the coming years. And that's how these things happen, because it's an organic growth happening. Because why? There'll be greater investment in interactive technology. Google Classroom is made available for free, unless you want to have your own domain used with Google Classroom. This is a big corporation making it available for free for people to use. Before you know it, smartphone devices will be everywhere like pure water. It's already happening. Go to Computer Village, smartphones littered everywhere. So digital divide will close. It was not like this 10 years ago, but look at where we are now. Look at where we are. Even the woman selling pepper in the market, the local market seller, uses a smartphone to snap tomatoes and pepper to send to her customers. It wasn't so 10 years ago. So that's how it keeps progressing. Before you know it, MTN will say, okay, if you're accessing Google Classroom, we'll give you 100 MB every day for free. So your problem of internet is solved. These things will happen. I'm not prophesying. It's just the way it will work, because that's how technology does this thing. It closes the divide, because the people that are investing in technology knows that for them to make profit or for them to create impact, they need to close the divide. So everybody's focus will be on closing the digital divide. But you need to be prepared for when that digital divide will be closed. Or even as it is closing right now, you are plugging yourself in as an educator, and as a tech-driven educator. I'm going to share this, because I know that people will have a lot of questions around, digital divide, internet penetration rates. But look at what is happening here. Look at the screen now. There's high penetration rate of internet in Africa. And Africa is set to beat Europe to become the second biggest user of the internet in the world. That's crazy. So people in Africa will use internet more than people in Europe. This is data, is what is looking at us here. Looking at the map up here, in North America, we have 7.2%. Or let's look at this big number here. 4.93 billion people use the internet worldwide, right? 4.93 people use, I'm going to repeat again, 4.93 people use the internet worldwide. That's 63.2% of the global population. Now look at it, from North America, you have 7.2% of people using the internet, right? Are you with me? So 7.2% in North America are using the internet. That's contribution to the 63.2%. In Latin America, we have 9.5%, among that 63.2% who are using the internet. In Australia, we have 0.6%. In Asia, of course, Asia uses the internet so much. We have 51.8% of people using the internet. Now, in the Middle East, in North Africa, we have 3.7%. In Europe, we have 14.8%. Look at Africa, we have 12.8%. Now, so this startling graph really shows how many Africans are now using the internet, far more than North America, and they are on track to beat Europe. Now, let us look at what is happening, the number of internet users by countries. Look at the right-hand corner of this screen. Look at the countries in Africa that are using internet. Of course, we know Nigeria has a population, but look at it, Nigeria, Egypt, Kenya, South Africa, Morocco. Look at how far we are beating other countries. This is showing us is that there's a huge penetration rate of internet in the continent and in Nigeria most especially. So even if you're sitting on the edge right now as an educator and you're saying internet will be a problem, electricity will be a problem, you will be there and it will catch up with you till these problems are solved. Because everybody is embracing technology. Like I mentioned, laborers in the factories, they're buying smartphones. Pepper sellers in the market are buying smartphones. They are buying internet data. Haven't you seen MTN going to markets to go and advertise data? They are no more just advertising in offices alone because they know there's a critical, huge market there. So if you're on the edge thinking that technology won't catch up with us in Nigeria, it will, and it is happening already. And very soon it will be everywhere. So technology has come here to stay. Remote learning is here to stay. It is not going anywhere. And we need to agree to that term. And what we need to do right now is to start plugging ourselves in this revolution. Acquire skills, know how to use those tools, and prepare your students for their own future that will be entirely driven by technology. So I just wanted to show this data. This Business Insider, so it's not me that said it, right? I just wanted to show this data to let us know what technology will do. And this brings me to the end of my session. And I hope I've been able to say something that makes sense to you. I hope you've learned something new in this presentation. And I'm happy to, take questions now. I'm going to share a link in the chat box as well that has, a link to over 100 technology tools that you can use for teaching and learning. You can read about. It's just a blog article that has the links to all those tech tools. But here is where I stop and I say thank you so much for listening. I hope you've learned something.
Wow. Please, can you just join me to give Kayode a virtual clap? Thank you too much. Awesome. Yes, fantastic. I need to see more comments, please. This is mind-blowing. He poured out himself. You can see the passion, you can see the depth, you can see the, how will I put it? He didn't just talk through, he didn't just talk, he made you see the essence. Thank you so much. I want to see more claps, please. Interesting. Thank you so much, Kayode. It's like you overdid yourself. I know there's still so much to deliver, but just because of the time constraints. And I know that our people will be very, very glad to have you again. Like seriously, thank you so much. He's a very, very busy person who, like very super busy person, but we sincerely appreciate the time you have taken to deliver this session for us. I cannot just thank you enough. So while we are doing that, minutes please, I actually, while he was talking, I decided to take like to, because me too, I was jotting. Yes, I was jotting. Like he said, you need to be ready to learn, relearn, and unlearn. So I took a lot of jottings, and because of that, I decided to just create a poll. So let me know if you, so don't for my hand though, because I'm going to launch a poll now. Let me know how like it's like a knowledge check. Let me know to what extent do we understand what he has taught. If it's, yeah, I wish you know, anyway, we have adults here, so I won't say I'm going to beat anybody here, but you know, it was so simple. Like you delivered it in a way that anyone can easily understand. So please, there's a poll in front of your screen. Just attempt the poll. Yes, and I'm going to share the results. No one has responded. Please, that will just take for like 5 minutes, and then we have room to ask our questions. Please, there's a poll in front of your screen. Just check your screen. You see a poll that is labeled knowledge check. Okay, nobody is responding. Just 10 questions that can you see the poll? Okay, thank you for the link, Kayode. Thank you for the link. Okay, so it's 1 minute already. Nobody has responded to the poll. I guess, is anybody seeing the poll? I don't know. Nobody is responding. Nobody is responding. Okay, so let me just end the poll and launch again. Let me know what's up. Nobody responded to it, so let me launch the poll again. Okay.
So I think some people are already responding. So
it's not actually. Let me relaunch the poll again. I didn't see any response on my own screen here.
You know, because it's 10 questions, so people might be taking their time to answer.
Time to answer it.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Wow. Thank you so much, Kayode. Thank you. Like your combination, let me not go into detail. The two of you, like, is superb combination, I must really say. And well done to you. We sincerely appreciate. Our ED unfortunately could not make it here, but I'm sure she extends her gratitude, she extends her appreciation, and then there's still so much that we have to do together, and we will talk after this call. So please, he shared his Instagram handle earlier, and I'm going to share it again. Please stay in touch with him.
And I'm sharing the link to this, so you can just even click on that link and go to the Instagram page.
Exactly, to follow him on off. Yes. So still waiting for the poll. So I may not wait for everyone to finish the poll, but once I get okay. So I believe you can see the poll results too, Abi. Kayode.
I took a poll off my screen. Okay. Yeah, I can see.
Yes, 100% useful. So no matter how powerful technology is, it is still within our control. Okay. What tool did the instructor use to get a perception of technology? Some people they form my handle. Okay, so which of this is not a feature of teaching with technology? Is not okay. So we have more people getting that answer. One of this is not true. Technology allows teachers to be more flexible. It does not help teachers connect with their people. Okay, good. With technology, no child is left out. True or false? Okay. So how many people do we have now that have responded? We have 14 people. Okay, maybe I'll just wait till it gets to 20, and then I will end the poll. I'll end the poll and then I will share the results. 17 people now. Okay, so waiting for 3 more. If I don't get that 3 in the next few seconds, I'm just going to end the poll because of our time. Okay, so okay, 18 people now, 19 people now, and then we have 21. Wow, okay, 21 already. I'm sorry, I have to end the poll because of our time. So let me just quickly share the results of now. I believe we can all see the results of the poll on our screen. I'm sharing already. I can see from my own here. I have a monitoring device that I'm using to assess the poll. So please, if you can see the poll results, can you just signify? You can see the poll results. Okay. So let me just quickly end this now, and let's go to the question and answer session now. So if you know you have questions that you want to ask, we have just about 15 minutes to respond to this. So please kindly raise up your hand and then I will mute you. We already have one, an Oluwaseun King. Please kindly ask a question and our scholar here will respond to it. Oluwaseun King, your hand is raised up. Please, I need to see more hands raised up so that we can quickly attend to your questions and then move from there. Sorry, I've already, sorry, Joan Atemiri, sorry, I've already ended the poll and I want to just move very fast so that we can go. So let me move on to Roslyn Ngozika. Please, Roslyn Ngozika, unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, Roslyn Ngozika. Okay, please, go ahead, you have the floor, you are muted.
Is it audible?
Yes, I can hear you now. Please, go ahead and ask a question.
Okay, really, I came very late, but I don't have question. I'm only wondering how I can introduce this in my school. I believe this is a preliminary teaching. We have not gone in depth how to apply it in my school. My school is in a remote area anyway, and I'm wondering the percentage of these pupils that can be able to access this technology when I start using it. How do I really start with the few that can afford it now while others come on board? And I'll have also the problem of teaching my teachers. Some of them are elderly teachers that this technology that are not adapting to it.
Yeah. Okay,
So
thank you
this
for your question.
challenges.
Thank you for your question. You respond to it. Thank you.
Yeah. Should I go ahead to quickly respond to that?
Actually, your way. If you want to take them once, or you want to respond bit by bit, you have a
Let me just quickly respond bit by bit so I don't miss out. Yes, so I mean, thank you so much, Mrs. Roslyn, for asking that question. Very important questions. And just like I shared, with integrated technology, you don't have to go high tech. We definitely know that there are some schools and some locations right now that can integrate technology, high-tech technology or things that will require their students buying computers and laptops. But as simple as their parents' mobile phones, if there's anything you can use there. For example, as simple as just using WhatsApp to send assignments and send, not just assignments, but even sending lesson content is a use of technology, right? I think that, embracing technology first, no matter how little it is very, very important and key, especially for those students. Another thing is that if you have students in your school that can afford technology, but you have some that cannot afford, I would advise that you don't generalize everyone and put everyone in the bucket of not using technology because some can afford. Let those who can afford technology begin to use technology. Because like I said, using technology is not only to make your school better or make educators better. It's basically to even prepare your students for the future. I'm sure there is a vision for your school. You want your school to produce students that are world class, even if they live in remote communities. And so even if they live in remote communities,
Hello. Sorry, we can't hear
can
you
you hear
again.
me now? Yeah, can you
I
hear
can
me
hear you
now?
now. Yes, yes. Can't hear you again. I think.
Hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you now. Yes, loud
Yeah,
and
yeah,
clear.
my internet keeps breaking. A call is coming into my phone and I'm using my phone
Oh,
as
no
network.
problem.
Yeah, so
Even
as I
with
was
I
saying,
had to activate. I had to activate DND on my own phone too. Like do not disturb. Yeah, but I can hear you now.
sorry, okay. Can you hear me now? Is it better now?
Yes, yes, it's better.
Yes. All right. So sorry about that. So sorry. So as far as using technology is concerned, make sure you don't generalize. If there are people who can afford, administer it and use it, integrate it in teaching and learning for them, and others will catch up by the way as well. So use it. And then as well for the teachers in the school, these are the kind of trainings you want them to attend as well. So I'm not sure how Bunmi Adedayo Foundation works, if this training is open to teachers in your school as well, but they should be part of this kind of conversations because this kind of conversations help to spur their interest. Sometimes you as a school leader might not be able to even inspire them enough to use technology than when they see other people talk about technology and talk about how they use technology. I'm sure when Mr. Ismail and all of them were sharing about the tech tools on the screen at that time, people were like, "Oh, this is really cool. Teachers are actually using these tools, and they really their interest has spurred." So let them be part of conversations like this. Technology is not hard to use, really. Even if they're elderly people, the tech like Zoom and all of these things, more elderly people use Zoom and all of these things, right? So they just need to be in this kind of conversations and be more exposed, and then they'll be able to like be part of this, this technology revolution. Another thing you can do as well as a school leader and school manager definitely is to always bring into their notice that they need to be, technology, they need to be tech savvy. And if there's any support you can give, maybe even little internet stipends for them to have maybe internet data on their phone. If it's something you can afford, you should provide for them as well. So maybe internet data for them to even join calls like this to learn would be really, really important as well. So these are like ways by which you can inspire your educators in school to use technology.
Thank you so much, Kayode. Just to quickly touch on that, this training is free, and we're going to share a recording to them via their emails so that they can watch again and share with their co-teachers. We have our own learning management system that has courses about technology free of charge that you can access. So please, someone asked earlier that is there going to be a certificate for this? No, this one does not have certificates. However, we share a pre-recorded version. Same person asks if we have, how would they be a part of the BAF initiative? We actually have WhatsApp groups of people that have participated in our project before, but you can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook where we post every of our opportunities. At BAF, all our trainings are free of charge. We have people that pay for them, so you don't need to break the bank to acquire this. And this program is going to be a monthly program. Last month we brought Mrs. Aramide Kayode. This month we have Mr. Oluwaseun Kayode. Next month we are going to have somebody else also who will, how will I put it, be a part of it. No, the WhatsApp group is just for those. We'll create a Telegram channel later that where everyone can be a part of it. So please, Tennessee Lovett, you have the floor. Can I ask a question? Yes, I can hear you, but not clearly.
I really can't
Sorry,
hear.
I really can't hear you too. Yes. Yeah. So maybe while she's working with on our audio, let's move. Mr. Kayode, can you hear? Can you hear?
Yeah, but it's faint. I can hear, but it's faint. It's a bit faint. But you can go ahead, ma. Let's see.
Okay, please. I was making an appeal that if you could do a video for us on how to make use of some of the apps you mentioned. Like, I think classroom very well because we were taught that in I don't know if or are they user friendly? Just download this app and use them. So if you could maybe help us on how to I don't know.
I don't. Can you just type this in the chat box because I can't get the entire question.
Yes, I think the question was that if you can do a video recording of some of these applications we talked about and how they can use them, okay. Or if the apps are user friendly, that like have user friendly interface that you can just download and you can find your way all by yourself.
Oh, okay, yeah. So most of these apps are actually user-friendly, and that's why they are tech tools for educators. They are designed for people who don't have, high interest in technology. But of course, one thing that, I'm planning to do soon is create a catalog of self-help or help videos on some of these tech tools and it can be hosted on Schoolinka platform as well, just self-help tools hosted there. If that's available, we'll also share with Bunmi Adedayo Foundation and probably can share to the community of educators as well.
Sure, we'll be glad to share the opportunity. Yes, thank you. So let's go to the next person. Let me try Anodua King again. Okay, let me see. There are more hands up. Alima Aduni, please, you have the floor. Kindly ask your questions.
Good morning. On the phone. What I want to ask is, can you
sorry, please. You have two phones connected at the same time. Can you be far apart so I can hear you?
Pardon?
Okay, yeah, it's better now.
Okay. I will just ask, can you please share a link where I've been trying it.
Sorry, I had to mute you. It's like you have someone else beside you that is connected to the training also, and the interference is so much. You can type on the chat box. We'll read it out, please. I'm sincerely sorry. Let me move on to Catherine Wachuku. Please, Mrs. Alima, you can come back. I can unmute you again if you are far apart from the person that is close to you. Ms. Katrina, you have the floor, please.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Shell. Thank you very much for this insightful this morning.
You're welcome, ma'am.
You joined the make an appeal. I don't know if I can get everything for lecture so I can to my colleagues. Did you get it?
Hello.
I didn't get you.
Hello.
Too. I didn't get her. Please recap your question, madam.
Okay, I say thank you very much for this insightful seminar this morning. Now, my question is not proposal, it's an appeal. Can I get, I joined late actually. Can I get the recap or the whole record of this seminar? Anywhere I can get via YouTube or thereabout, so I can take it to my colleagues to join. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. So about the slides, I think you're referring to the slides, Ma, that I used for this session.
Yes, I got some slides.
I think both the slides and the full recording. So for all those who registered, I'll send an email to them. And
okay.
The email will have access to both the slide and the recording. And the recording will also be uploaded to our YouTube page, our YouTube channel. So that will be there for everyone to access on our YouTube. But I will share a recording link. So as soon as I get the PowerPoint from from our facilitator, I will also share with everyone also.
All right.
Thank you.
No worries.
So let me go to next person. Who else? I saw one hand. Okay. Okay. I think there are no new hands again. No more new hands. Let's check the chat box if there are questions in the chat box. None. So okay. I think there's no more question again. No more question again. So thank you everyone. Since there are no more questions, let me check last time so I will be sure there's no one that I'm leaving out. I think no. So thank you so much, Kayode. We sincerely appreciate your time. We sincerely appreciate your willingness to share from your wealth of knowledge to improve teacher education in Nigeria. We also very proud of the works that you do at Schoolinka, and I hope that our teachers here this afternoon can really go to that platform and take courses for free. We also have our own LMS too, or we have a few courses that are there that can help you develop yourselves more professionally. So please take advantage of that. So on behalf of our board, on behalf of our lead executive director, on behalf of myself also and the entire team at BAF, we say a very big thank you to Kayode or Oluwaseun. He has shared a link to his platform, so please go to that platform and take as many courses as possible. They are there for your development free of charge. We also have our own tool on BAF that is currently not up now. We are doing some maintenance work on it. Once it's live, we're going to make it very public also. Like he said, there are many resources online that you can access free of charge. So Kayode, I dock my hat and I say a very big thank you to you. To everyone that joined, either early or late, we appreciate your time too. We commend your commitment to personal development, and I can tell you that in the next and near future, it will pay off for you as a person, for you as a parent, even for you as a teacher, for you as a school owner or a school leader, because technology is just not about now, it's also about the future. On this note, I want to say happy weekend to every one of you. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Okay, but please, I think, let me quickly, before I go, we have more like a, how will I put it, like a survey link that we would love you all to please quickly fill in before you go. I forgot, honestly, I would have done that much earlier. Please, I've sent a link to the group now. We would love to get your feedbacks about the training, feedbacks about what you want us to bring next to how will I put it, to you, um, so that we can bring in the next candidates also. On this note, I will ask all of you now to unmute now. I know it's going to be a little bit noisy, but just join me to say thank you to Mr. Kayode, please. You can all unmute now and say thank you to Mr. Kayode.
Thank you, Mr. Kayode. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate. Thanks for your
Thank you,
time.
sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you,
Mr.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you
We
for having me.
appreciate you. Thank you. Next time.
Thank you so much. So much.
Thank you.
It was lovely to be here as well. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you
don't
very
forget to
much. We
attend
appreciate the
to
training, Mr. Kayode, and the
don't forget
entire
to
Black
attend to the quiz question.
Foundation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kayode. God bless you. Mr. Kayode.
Thank you very much. Everyone, bye.
Please, the link, WhatsApp link for that.
All right, bye bye everybody. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. We're going to end the call now.